Hello, everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast here on Boss Rush Games. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deargan. Alongside me, as always, is the wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas. He waved. He's muted.
How's it going, everyone? I had mine muted because the kids are talking and stuff.
Also joining us is the 100%er of Fortnite, Mr. Colonel Panic himself, Joe Wilson.
2020, get fucked.
Only 100%? No, just kidding.
Last but not least, joining us is the, what do we call him? The master of Night City, the mayor of Night City, the
Marty McFly.
Maybe. The Finney Silverhand himself, Mr. Josh Finney.
I fucking hate you so much. I hate you so much. Your nicknames are the worst. You were the only one who laughs at them.
They're the best.
Doc Lord. They call him the Doc Lord.
The fixer. The Ripper himself. How's everyone doing? Good? Great? Grand? Wonderful?
Good. Yeah.
I'm good. I've amassed a fortune of like 600,000 credits in Cyberpunk, so I finally went and paid Vic back.
Eddies, sir.
Yep, I got 600K Eddies.
Cheap motherfucker. I paid Vic back the first time I had that 21K.
I didn't. I'm selfish. I'm greedy, and he didn't take it offensively. When I found out that he wasn't going to take it offensively if I didn't do it, I reloaded my save and walked away.
It's the worst.
So, and then I bought a whole bunch of implants at other Ripper Docs because they're better than the shit he carries.
I mean, that's fair, but...
Listen, I found mantis blades.
He saved your life, dude.
Chest, and I'm very excited about it.
Saved your life. Saved your life.
He did save my life, but he didn't get this chip out of my head, so job's only half finished.
It's fair. You know, that's fair.
True.
That's you know, I give you that.
GG's to my boy Vic.
Guys, guess what? I have great news.
You?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
I have secured an S for the office.
Nice.
To stream from.
Take that, Game Pass Gary.
Yeah, Game Pass Gary. Yeah. Little Timmy. Mommy, I want a game. I want an Xbox.
Getting it for Christmas because this guy needs 2.
Yeah.
Eat it.
Actually, I might need 3. You know what?
Jesus Christ.
Full disclosure, I have bought 3 Xboxes this season so far.
Well, they weren't all for you, though.
They all went to other people.
Surprisingly, in the last week, I've had about 11 next-gen systems in carts just to see what would happen.
So, I had several of the GameStop bundles in my cart, but let me tell you something. Fuck you for bundling games together that I would not play. Like, I can live with getting Miles Morales on a disc. I would prefer to have everything digitally, but whatever.
Right.
But then, like, you bundle in NBA 2K.
They had a Spider-Man Demon's Souls bundle.
I didn't see that, but I'm not going to play that. I probably won't play Demon's Souls either.
I mean, I won't either. But
I just wish that, like, I'm fine with spending, like, the extra money and you bundling shit together that I don't need. But, like, let me pick. Let me just choose out of a list of items what I can bundle together, and then just let me do it. They had that one. Did you see where you got you got also like a gift card?
Mm-hmm, the $20 gift card for no reason.
For no reason.
I hate GameStop so much. I literally only go there if I absolutely have to at this point.
We shit on GameStop so much, but I always crawling back.
I know, it's like that terrible ex-girlfriend.
That's like a personal problem to me, Joe.
Yeah, I basically only go there like when I want to get like an looking for like a collectible type stuff.
You should have
seen than games. I don't go there for games anymore.
You should have seen how mad they were when I took my this was a long time ago when I decided to make the full switch to digital. When I took my entire stack of physical games in there, except for like a couple that I really love, and traded them in for gift cards. You should have seen their faces. Oh man, it was awesome. Such a good time. So, oh man, GameStop. I can't say anything bad until it ships. It's fine. Just gonna throw that out there. But
once it shows up on his doorstep, though, look out, GameStop.
yeah.
You guys are in for a bunch of shit on the internet.
I'm going to take a poop in a brown paper bag and light it in front of your door.
Digitally.
Y'all are in for an ass whooping on a semi-professional internet podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, you think we're semi-professional?
Yeah, I know.
I meant to say semi-obscure, and it came out as professional, so I went with it.
Oh, well,
We got your number.
yeah.
So
It's easy to remember. It's 0.
before we go into all the other stuff, I have to pose a question to everybody. How much is too much to pay for an action figure that I haven't had my whole life that I've wanted?
It depends.
Do you need more details?
Yes.
Yes.
How much? Yeah. What percentage of your yearly income
Is it like a Ninja Turtle? Is it like a G.I. Joe?
How many years have you been this, Joe?
Since Halo 3.
Okay.
It's the
I'm assuming
McFarlane
it's the Halo franchise.
Hunter. It's McFarlane Hunter, like the big hunter.
Oh, cool.
Ooh. Okay, I know which one you're talking about.
I think too much money would probably be like $150.
Okay. That makes me feel good. I'm okay. Go around the
Yeah.
horn. Everyone just 150? Is that the cutoff?
Yeah.
So
Well,
what is it, like 6 inches, 12 inches? How
I
big?
think it's 12 or 14, right?
I it's over 6 inches, but I think it's because it's with the 8-inch figure, so it's probably 10 or 12.
I would absolutely pay. I would go a little over 150 if I had to.
Okay.
But I think that's a fair price.
Speaking of figures, the giant Titanfall figure that came with the collector's edition of the first one is for sale at my local game store still. It's been there for like 3 years and it's $92.
I would buy that in a
Go grab it.
Yeah.
Go grab it.
I know.
Go do it
Corey,
right
how
now.
much would it
Oh,
cost
wait.
you to ship it to me?
Live stream it.
I don't
Live
know.
stream you purchasing it.
Live
Find out,
Twitch
find out how
IRL.
much it would cost to ship it to me. I'll buy it.
Double.
Oh, fuck you. Actually, that's probably accurate, though, honestly.
Yeah, especially if you're going on eBay. It's like this item costs $78 to ship, and it's like Pokemon cards. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? $78
You gotta
for
get insurance on the Pokemans.
Speaking of Pokemon cards, I have like 1,000 of those fuckers to get rid of. Like, I don't want them. I don't care. Somebody please take them. They're like the original like fossil
I'll take them.
jungle and original starter packs plus like 1,000 booster cards.
I'll
Pony
take
up
them
the
because my
Eddies.
kids.
No
My
foil
kids
Charizard.
are-
It's the only card I'm missing, by the way,
Yeah.
everybody. So sorry.
Yeah.
Pony up the Eddies, boys. But yeah, Joe, 150. I'd absolutely pay that.
Yeah.
All right.
How much
I've
is
got
it?
right now it's at 80.
Oh.
God.
But I got 2 hours left.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
You're good. Okay, so before we get into this episode's going to be a little bit longer, but if you're watching live, you're going to get the full episode. If you're listening on podcast services, this episode's going to be split in half. We're going to talk about the Game Awards announcements and kind of Xbox's first-party announced games, and then the second half of the show, we're going to answer a whole bunch of listener questions that'll go up the week after. So, anyways, we're going to answer Greg Osterman's question first, as tradition dictates.
Nice.
We answered
I look
Greg
forward
Osterman
to it.
III. This guy, he's an email writing machine. Are you okay, Greg? Do you need something else to do? Do you have an Xbox to play?
Yeah, it never really seems to be a gaming related question. It's always food. Maybe he's an out of work chef.
Maybe.
Or maybe he just plays so many games that he needs an opportunity to talk about something else or
Oh God, the Giants are playing Colt McCoy against the Browns. Oh God, I remember when that was the reverse. Greg Osterman writes in. He says, "By the way, guys, I'm watching the Browns game because they're on Sunday Night Football for some reason this week against the Giants, which is whatever." Hey, legends. He called us legends. He called us legends. We made it, guys. We made it. It's the holiday season. Christmas is coming. It's time to get fat. What are your favorite Christmas foods and why? Do you have any weird ones? Huge fan of the show, and you've brought me so much fun and distraction throughout the year, and I really hope more and more people find your show. Thanks,
you.
Greg. We appreciate you, Greg.
Yeah.
We appreciate the food-related questions.
Yes. Because I haven't had enough of that this weekend. By the way, the ice cream stand by my house had July and Christmas instead of Christmas and July. And they were like selling all kinds of ice cream treats and stuff. And we went tonight, and I had a giant a hot fudge milkshake. So if I like go sprinting out of the room, I had a milkshake. Okay.
Are you lactose intolerant?
Sure am.
We'll find out tonight.
Oh. We'll find live on twitch.tv.
How much can he tolerate?
I'm actually going to switch the stream to me garbage shooting all over the bathroom, Twitch IRL, and get banned like Dr. Disrespect.
Someone right now is voting on this, whether Corey has it or not in Vegas.
So what are your favorite Christmas foods, gentlemen?
For me, there's certain things that our family, that my wife's family does around this time of the year that I guess probably a good chunk of people do as well. But I always look forward to having the Cornish hens.
Cornish hens.
Yeah.
Oh, do you eat with your pinky out?
Mm-hmm.
Do you drink out of little tiny teacups?
Little tiny teacups.
Are you required to speak in a British accent while you eat dinner? Do you have the wigs and the
Sir Winston, this tea and crumpets is just too cold for me.
I dare say mine's just right.
I do say cheerio, young chap.
Do you use cloth napkins?
Yes.
Is your silverware made out of pure gold?
Or real
No,
silver?
I don't like gold.
Platinum.
Silver.
Have you had a tea party in the Bay recently?
Do all your dishes match?
No.
Are your cups glass or plastic?
Or
Both.
porcelain?
Yeah.
How many butlers serve each course?
Only 3.
Do you have a butler named Reginald?
No.
And a driver named James?
You also accept Alfred.
Or Ducksworth?
Do they have long waistcoats?
Mine's Pentington.
So we got some Cornish game hens. What do you eat with the Cornish hens?
I mean, honestly, we usually just eat, like
the Wimbledon
whatever,
wedges.
like the same you would eat with Thanksgiving dinner.
Tater tots.
Fish and chips.
They're not a fry.
The waffle fries. They're the best.
Yeah,
The
tater
Tottenham
tots. Cheesy tots from Burger King.
By the way, I was on Twitter today, side tangent. The Disney food blog tweeted out a new breakfast snack that you can get with your dining plan next year. It's sausage gravy tots. And I was like, man, that's what I want.
Corey, have you ever had the tater tots that they serve at that stand?
Yeah.
It's the only place on earth that I like tater tots because they put shredded buffalo chicken on top of them.
I'm aware.
And it's just my heart hurts because of the heartburn, but it's so worth it. Mm-hmm. I do it to myself. I feel gloriously fat doing it, and then I do a few laps around the castle to make myself feel good.
You know what they say, the heart wants what the heart definitely doesn't want.
Listen,
The heart
if
wants
they,
what
if
the
they
heart
would just
doesn't need.
they should just sponsor that stand by Tums.
Speaking of Tums, have you had the pulled pork mac and cheese over at Animal Kingdom?
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I did actually.
What? How often do you guys go to Disney World?
At least like once or twice a year.
Do you really?
We used to go like 3 times a year.
I go about once a year.
Yeah.
I've only been like twice in my life, so
well,
we have
all
family has
long
share,
after
so
I was a kid.
Well, my mom used to work
Now
for
who's
Disney.
eating with their fingers?
Okay.
My mom used to work for Disney, and we used to go on her like employee discount or whatever.
Yeah.
But then we just kept going after she left, and
Gotcha.
it's amazing. I love that place. I actually went in February about a week before it closed down because of the pandemic. So,
Do you go to Florida or California?
Florida.
Yeah.
Fun fact, never been to Disneyland. Would really like to someday.
Yeah.
Corey
So-
and I have a running joke that in the 5 years that we've known each other, every single time that we've gone to Disney, we have gone within like a week and a half or 2 weeks of each other,
Yeah.
just by complete happenstance, and we've never run into each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. That's what's funny though, like with the whole Florida or California thing. California is such a better state to be in. Like,
Yeah,
I'd
but it
rather
is,
go
but
to
they have
that
the
one, but
shittier
no one ever
Disney.
goes there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Disney World is infinitely better than Disneyland.
Yeah,
From everything that
Yeah.
I've heard.
I've been to both. Disney World is better. Disneyland is fun if you plan on doing non-Disney things on your trip.
Yeah. Also, if you planned on spending more money.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyways, back to holiday food. Let me tell you, my mom never makes traditional holiday food. I cannot tell you the last time we had like a turkey or something for a holiday.
Good, I'm
And
at your house for Thanksgiving then.
yeah, we
Yeah.
actually had a giant breakfast
hate
for
turkey.
Thanksgiving because we went in the morning, and we had like quiche and waffles and bacon and sausage and all kinds of things. It was delicious.
The one time that we made Christmas dinner for my future in-laws, they were very offended that we did not cook a traditional meal and swore they would never come to our house again. So I was the real winner.
Good job.
Yeah, I was gonna say
They were
that was
very
well worth
upset that Chelsea and I made. So we asked her mom what she wanted. And she's like, "Oh, anything that you guys make will be fine." So we were like, "Okay." She goes, "But whatever you do, I'd like for you to make Chelsea makes mashed potatoes with cheese in them." And they're delicious because they're not her mom's recipe. She got the inspiration from her and she made them actually edible. So Chelsea made those, but we were really strapped for cash. It was our first time living together. We were living on one check and, we decided to make pizzas. They were very offended that we made pizzas for them for Christmas. And and I'm not kidding you, the entire day of Christmas Eve, we were judged under her mother's breath, just loud enough so we could hear it, but just quiet enough so she could deny ever saying it. Since then, they have not been to my house for a meal, and that was 4 years ago.
So this year, I grew up on a farm, so we had a very classic, I would say, Christmas. We would have turkey, mashed potato, basically Thanksgiving too.
Did you have to kill the turkey yourself?
No,
Oh,
I don't.
thank God.
I was from a very early age an indoor kid.
Mm-hmm.
We would do. There's a story that my mom tells, oddly enough, almost every holiday, or every time I've like brought a girlfriend to the house and she'd have to like embarrass me or reveal something about myself.
Yeah.
There was a time that we were moving River Rock from one part to another part, and we had like one tractor, and so we would like load up the tractor with stuff, and then we'd get like buckets of them and like dump them. And I'm like, I don't know, 10, not old, but like old enough to carry a bucket full of rocks. And my mom was like, she's like, we're gonna do this, and then afterwards we can go swimming. And I put down the bucket, and I'm like, you know what, Mom? This isn't for me. I'm gonna go inside and watch cartoons, and then you tell me when we're done so we can go swimming.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was like, then after that it was like, okay, Joey's like the inside, and I burn real easy and stuff like that. I am definitely like the anemic kid that lives in a bubble, and everybody else in my family is like super muscular and tan, and they're always outside. I'm the opposite. Anyway, so we would have turkey, mashed potatoes, corn, like whatever you would expect on like a farm. We would have pierogies, but then I stopped eating meat. Now probably 10, 12 years ago. It's been a while. So that kind of upended like everything, and now like my mom's always like insecure. So it's so great this year that we're not going anywhere. We're staying home. And we're still gonna have like mashed potatoes and stuff on Christmas Day with a like a fake and like an imitation turkey or something like that. But Christmas Eve, we're doing something that I've always wanted to do, and I hope it becomes a tradition. And Josh, you'll appreciate this. We're gonna make pizza. on Christmas Eve.
Yes.
And that's going to be our Christmas Eve tradition.
I love Christmas pies.
So we make a pizza now every Friday. Since the pandemic started, I make a pizza every Friday. But Christmas falls on a Friday, so instead of that, we're pushing it to Thursday. So hopefully that'll be just our new tradition: is every Thursday have a pizza.
Nice.
My family always did pizza growing up on Christmas Eve.
Mhm.
We would go to church. We'd celebrate, little baby infant Jesus.
Mhm.
I would inevitably almost catch something on fire playing with the candles that they gave us for Silent Night. And then we would come home, we'd have pizza, and I would always get to open up my presents from my actual mom because she would send them she sends them in the mail and stuff. Well, that was tradition until I was like 13. She decided to stop doing that. So after that, my grandma improvised and would let me and my cousin each open a present from her and my grandpa on Christmas Eve. And I'm proud to say that I am 28 years old and my grandma is still keeping that tradition going strong. I still get a Christmas Eve present from her. It's usually something it's a game or something that I really want, but the rest of my family will absolutely judge me for. So I'm the only one who goes and sees her on Christmas Eve anymore. After church, everybody else goes home because they're all married and have families now. But I go wherever she lives, her retirement home or my aunt's house, for instance, this year. And there's always a video game of some sort.
Love
and
it.
It's fantastic. I love it.
That's funny. My grandma, the last thing she ever said to my cousin before she died was he was screwing around, and she held his hand above the stove, and she said, "Do you want to feel what hell feels like?
Jesus
If
Christ.
you don't stop screwing around during the prayer." And that was the last thing she ever said to him before she died.
I fall asleep when we pray in church. So, and my grandma inevitably hits me. That's why she makes me sit next to her now. She just glares down the pew, and at first, it looks like you've got your head bowed and you're praying. Then she figured out my dad and I were both falling asleep. So now we have to sit on either side of her when the family goes to church.
Fun.
That's been Adventures with Josh's Grandma on Christmas Eve.
I love it.
I don't.
Yeah, that's.
I like the video game part of the story.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
getting hit part.
Yeah, it was worth it though to get that video game early.
It's still
Yeah,
worth it.
of course it
Still
is.
worth it, baby. 28 years strong over here.
You gotta take your licks, man.
Get
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I know because I did the shopping.
Jesus.
Wow. I think I'm going to move on from that. Well, just whatever. This is Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast, where each and every Sunday night live here on twitch.tv/BossRushGames Live, we discuss the world of Xbox with our friends from around the internet. If you can't join us live, no big deal. Head on over to youtube.com/BossRushGames and podcast services every Tuesday to check out a new show. Leave us a nice review on iTunes and rate and subscribe to Arsenal X wherever you listen. And make sure you catch all of our shows on BossRushGames.com. Guys, this is the final live episode of the year. Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah.
We didn't go over the Game Award stuff, but we're going to. We're not going to go over the winners because, honestly, nobody watches it for the winners. Right?
They're not real awards anyway.
Yeah, we all watch for the announcements, the big shindigs, the big the games that we all kind of want to see coming out in the near future or far future, depending on what announcements were made. So
It's very similar to the Super Bowl that there's most of the people watch not for the actual content of the what's happening, but they watch it for the commercials. The only difference is I'm actually watching it for the commercial's sake and not necessarily for the entertainment value of Clydesdale's doing something weird. I don't know.
Well, and every award show is all the same. It's all most of the things that win the award either you don't care about or you may not have even played or or watched or whatever you want to call it. I don't pay attention to awards. I don't pay attention to reviews, ratings, as far as making my decisions on things. So it's really hard for me to get excited about that part of it. But yeah, like definitely we were, like there was rumblings about stuff happening and getting to see some new stuff. So that's I think what brings a lot of people there, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
So I think the major drop for Xbox fans during the Game Awards was Perfect Dark being made by the Initiative, which kind of the worst kept secret besides Fable for a long time. So confirmed to be a first person shooter. How does everybody feel about that? Like, first of all, how does everybody feel about Perfect Dark in general? I mean,
love it.
uh-oh,
I'm
Josh.
so excited. I'm so excited.
So the thing
like,
that got me excited was the laptop gun in the hallway. I think was like the first kind of like, okay, this is kind of hype right now.
It was one of those moments, like, you get the really quick teaser, and then you have you have like the mini dev diary, and I'm just like sitting there like, is this fucking real? Is this really happening? And
it's happening.
It's not just that I'm excited for Perfect Dark. Like, I really like the Perfect Dark universe. I got a 360 on launch date partially to play Perfect Dark Zero. So imagine how upset 13-year-old Josh was when he unwrapped that game and played it, and then his console red ringed on him within the hour. So I had a double dose of disappointment. Triple, really. I got Perfect Dark, Cameo, and a red ringed Xbox.
Oh, jeez. That's
okay. So
surprised you're still here, Josh.
I'm surprised I'm still an Xbox fan, but I've really wanted a modern take on Perfect Dark for a really long time. I love the N64 game so much. It is one of those games that I feel like only a handful of us are going to get truly excited for it, because only a few of us are old enough to really remember that game at this point. And it was one of those, when it came out, it was one of the only ones that used the expansion pack on the N64. It was a top of the line. Yeah, it was the end of the N64 era. I'd say it was one of the last great games released. It was like that and Majora's Mask were like the last two big Nintendo games.
Oh, don't forget Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh, Conker's Bad Fur Day too. I do really like Conker. But if you were going to revive something that is a franchise that Microsoft owns and give it to another studio, I think this was the absolute perfect one. I know people are screaming, "Oh, we want Banjo-Kazooie, we want Banjo-Kazooie." I'm fine with not getting Banjo, okay? I would like to see Microsoft try a platformer again eventually, but Perfect Dark is something that I feel appeals to that hardcore Xbox fan base. That is a game that is in line with, if you're into things like Halo, you're into things like Gears, hell, even into like, I don't know, like some of these other things, some of the RPGs that they do, Fable, they've got Bethesda now. Like, if you're into the core catalog of Xbox games, this is something that you may go, okay, I'm not super into spy games, but I like the grittiness of it. I like just how futuristic it is. I like the gadgets. I'm going to try this out. And especially they've confirmed that it's going to continue to be third person. I think that's really special. This is an awesome franchise.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's great about, like it being so futuristic and stuff is like, I've kind of always been saying that, like, if they did do Perfect Dark over again, like this gives them an opportunity to kind of like make something along the lines of why people loved Splinter Cell and things like that, but not have to rely on Ubisoft to deliver something like that. So like now this is their chance to make something along that line that fans can really enjoy, and we don't have to wait on another company to make it for us. And and the thing with it being all futuristic is we can get a lot of really cool new weapons. We can, we can still get our, the ones that made us fall in love with, the game originally. But, with it being so futuristic and techy, it's, we can get some more fun, maybe they're going to come up with some cool, fun ideas like the laptop gun, something else that will, be excited for, it's, Halo can kind of do that, but they're also stuck in a world where there's kind of already, like weapon wise, there's kind of the things that they use are in the books and in the stories already, and they can't, deviate too much from what we already have. But this will give us a chance to kind of just add some cool fun things that will be new to the world. So I'm totally looking forward to this game. Like I was so disappointed with the one that came out with 360, and so like all of us have been waiting since the original for a really good Perfect Dark game. So it's been so long. Like I'm so ready for it.
So
Yeah.
this kind of, I liked Perfect Dark a lot when it came out.
Mhm.
I was probably like most of you, one of the kids that on every weekend would meet up with my friends, would all compile our controllers, and we would play GoldenEye.
Mhm.
And then obviously this came out, and it was kind of the answer on to like what are we going to play next, and it was Perfect Dark for most of us.
Yeah, it was the stopgap between GoldenEye and Halo
yeah.
for most of us, I think.
And you could play like
Well, it
even
was the
if you,
exact same team.
Yeah.
and if you didn't have any friends, you could play with the bots as long as you had that expansion pack.
Yeah, which was always awesome.
My concern is kind of the concern that happens with like similar to like Mass Effect. So like Perfect Dark worked because you could tell that the team that created GoldenEye wanted to do more than what they could within like a James Bond IP.
Mhm.
So they created like a James Bond that was like kind of crazy, so they could do all the fun stuff that they were thinking of that doesn't fit in the world of James Bond. At least that's my impression of it. So it was kind of like a more, not to say more fun, that's not fair, but it was definitely like an off the rails version of this. Still kind of in the spy universe, but like all the weapons are crazy. Remember you had was the aliens named Elvis?
Mhm.
Yeah.
My concern is that the inspiration for this game is Perfect Dark and not kind of like the kind of crazy sci-fi shooter that it should be. That happened with Mass Effect Andromeda. The original Mass Effect's inspirations were Blade Runner, Alien. You could tell like all these classic sci-fi things are in its DNA, and they're like, oh, like we want to have something that fits in like this kind of sci-fi world. And then Mass Effect Andromeda's biggest inspiration was Mass Effect. So it's like you're forcing these characters into these situations that don't fit. That's my biggest concern. I am still excited for it. I want to play it. I want it to be good. I just hope that they don't rely too much on like, there's not a lot of Joanna Dark source material out there that like they should be like adhering to. They should feel free to like go crazy with it. I love the laptop gun. I'm glad it's in there. That was the one thing that caught my eye as well. I hope there's so much more. Remember the gun that you could see through walls and shoot through walls?
That'll be there. That'll be there for sure.
But I want more. I want something that I haven't
So
played. I just don't want like a greatest hits of like the stuff
Right.
I've already seen.
I really think like what I feel like what they're gonna do is they're gonna have a lot of winks and nods to that first game in particular. Maybe not Zero, but that first game in particular. But I really feel like they're just gonna go out of their way to make this something brand new, like a futuristic kind of spy game, and you're gonna get the laptop gun obviously, and probably the gun to see through walls, because honestly, like that power in every single game since Batman has been in every single game. And now that you have a gun to do it, it fits into like what people are doing now. Like I really feel like they're just gonna try something really new and different with it. If it's a linear first person shooter, if it's a linear first person shooter, nobody's gonna care about it.
It won't be. I mean, they've put so much stock into hiring the talent at the studio too. This, when the studio was being founded, we had heard that Microsoft wanted to be the answer to Sony Santa Monica, and the amount of talent that they could bring in there. And you've got Daryl Gallagher and Drew Murray leading the studio. Daryl was the head on both the Tomb Raider reboot and on Rise of the Tomb Raider. He left. In fact, he left Crystal Dynamics right around the time Avengers was churning up. He really didn't want to do that, I guess. And Drew,
Good decision.
Yeah, smart
right.
decision.
Great fucking decision, by the way. And then Drew used to be the head of gameplay over at Insomniac. He was actually the game director on Sunset Overdrive. So those are two guys I'm really glad. Like, obviously, like those are two. If you have the director of Rise and the director Rise of the Tomb Raider, that is not Rise Son of Rome, Rise of the Tomb Raider and of Sunset Overdrive coming to lead your studio, those are relationships that Phil Spencer and Matt Booty already had. That makes perfect sense to bring them in. And yeah, sure, their first game is technically an old IP, but there's nothing that says you have to follow Perfect Dark Zero and Perfect Dark. Those were set in the year like 2020 or something. Like they're not gonna do that. But you can use things like the laptop gun, the gun that can see through walls. You can use that as an inspiration to do a. I don't want to say a reboot of Joanna Dark, but I mean, how much narrative was really in the N64 game? You know, I truly cannot remember back 22 years. So for me, it's like, okay, I'm really glad that you're doing this. Like, I experienced Perfect Dark after the GameCube was already out, is when I was playing it. And I loved it. I've gone back and done it on the 360 through or the 360 version is in Rare Replay.
Yeah.
Use Joanna, and I mean, just the confirmation that she's in it was the biggest thing. Like, I'd heard varying things leading up to the reveal that, oh, it's going to be episodic instead in there. They want to do it more Remedy style. And I mean, let me get something really clear. If you take those gameplay designers and you put them and you make this game a fusion of Perfect Dark and like Control, holy
well, wasn't
shit,
there a story that came out that said one of the writers from Control is working on this game? Did that or was that Fable?
He's working on Fable.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it was Fable or Perfect Dark.
The co-writer of Control, because Sam Lake does the main writing. Their co-writer just joined Playground Games.
Okay.
So
you know what?
I'm all here for this. I'm totally in.
I want what they did with Doom.
Yes.
Take what my memory was of playing that game as a kid, and Doom 2016 and the original Doom, I would say, are almost nothing alike, but they are also exactly alike.
Yeah.
They are like how I felt as like however old I was playing Doom for the first time is how I feel playing Doom now. That's what they need to do.
As much as I wanted this to be a brand new franchise coming from this studio for their first game, I also think this is the sole franchise Microsoft has in the war chest that makes sense for those specific designers to do.
Especially on a like story level. Like you can really go places with a story with this franchise. Like, like there's so much opportunity in it. And and to be honest, I could also see them doing almost the kind of the whole Half-Life kind of thing where they really use this game to try to come up with new ways to use this new tech that's in the Series X to really make some cool and interesting things and use it to just come up with some new ideas and things that maybe later down the line other games are going to try to copy or try to do themselves. Like I could definitely see them using this to try to come up with some interesting ideas of like gameplay type things, just because like that was kind of one of the things that I feel like Phil Spencer had talked about like early on, is that like that talked about new interesting things coming in this next generation, and and like just in general people talking about things that they'll be able to do that we haven't really been able to do on other consoles on the previous generations. So I could definitely see them with the amount of just insane talent that studio has, that them just really coming up with something different and interesting that that tries to wow people and set an example moving forward. But I mean, maybe that's me putting a little too much into the but I just feel like like you don't make a super group like that, and you don't claim that it's gonna be uh a quad A list dev company without there being some kind of pushing to try to really make something different.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I guess we'll see.
I know we got to move on. There's a few other games I want to talk about, especially one that I know Jesse's excited for, and probably Josh too. But I'm kind of surprised this is going to be a first-person game. To be honest with you, I thought it was
third. I'm pretty sure it's third.
They've confirmed it's first-person. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, like I was listening. I felt the same way. I was kind of like, well, don't we have enough of those? But then, I was listening to the recent episode of Unlocked, and they named off, State of Decay, Gears, like all these games that we have that are third person already. And really, Halo is the only like first person game right now that we really have, So
yeah, but
have it though.
I thought I just thought
do we have it?
I just thought like they're like we want to take on Sony Santa Monica. We've hired all these Crystal Dynamic devs. We've hired some people from Naughty Dog and Santa Monica. Like clearly that I thought that was going to be like their take on this was like third person, but this article from PC Gamer 5 days ago says it's a first person shooter.
Yeah.
So, but
there's Hellblade and stuff too. I mean, like. Yeah, I think honestly, I think Hellblade, in my opinion, could be very competitive with anything Sony's got to offer. Like,
we'll get there.
I don't know.
We'll get there. I have the whole list of announced things for Xbox, but the next thing I'm more interested in hearing about you guys. We'll get to the BioWare stuff in a second, but the Callisto project, which is the kind of Dead Space successor.
Yeah, that game.
I'll play it. I'm here for it. I missed it.
I cannot wait. Did you watch it? I seen someone post. I think Laurent posted the Red Band trailer version.
This is one of those like I saw the initial release trailer, and it's now on my list of things that I officially don't want to see anything else of.
Okay. Well, the Red Band trailer just basically showed what that alien thing that attacks them in the cell, like what it does.
Oh, I'm good. I'll wait.
It's crazy, dude.
Very few things get me excited just off a trailer anymore because half the time they don't live up to the expectations we build in our minds. So keeping my hype in check with this. I really, really, really want to play this when it comes out, though. Do we know, is it coming out 2021 or 2022?
I don't think they said.
I'm guessing probably.
I'm guessing
it probably later than sooner.
It is set in the PUBG universe, guys.
Yeah, I know.
Laurent says 2022. Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Good thing Laurent's here. BioWare had a big presence here. They showed another non whatever for Dragon Age. Another like what do you call it? Like a tone piece for Dragon Age. And they showed a tone piece for Mass Effect, which clearly looks like a sequel to both games.
Yeah. The Mass Effect one is, and I don't really have any massive attachment to either of these franchises, but the Mass Effect one was more exciting, just like based on what I know in the lore. Like Dragon Age, it's like okay, cool. Like I probably won't touch it. Honestly,
I've never played a Dragon Age game, so I probably won't.
Mass Effect, on the other hand, like I don't know if I'll ever go back and play the trilogy, but
not even the new release one.
Not even the new. I'm absolutely not paying money for the new release one.
What if it looks really good?
I'm still not buying it. Like, for me to buy a remake or a reissue of a game now, it's gonna have to be on the level of like Resident Evil 2 or Final Fantasy 7 remake.
What if it
which
is?
So few are going to do that.
Sure. Let's say it is.
If it is, then sure, I'll check it out when it comes to Game Pass.
I don't like how you stuck to your guns there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you to buy this game. That's my new mission.
I have been challenged to play Andromeda, though, as someone who has no attachment. I've been challenged to play that just so like I don't have the baggage, I guess, of the trilogy. So I am going to give that a shot. It's a little bit more recent.
I liked Andromeda. It wasn't
Never
terrible.
finished it.
I mean,
Never
I didn't
finished
finish it. I didn't finish it either, but I also played it like 6 months after it came out, and there was like 47 patches. And
I played it. I bought like the stupid whatever $100 edition. I've played the first Mass Effect, I would say at least 10 times, and then probably like 6 and 4 going down the line. And I was so excited for Andromeda, and it's not that I would say I can get over technical issues because as patches and stuff come out, those get solved. But like, I just didn't care about anything that was happening in that game. I just didn't give a shit. And like, then I ran into like a technical problem where my game save got corrupt and I could not progress any further. And I was just like, I'm not starting over.
Yeah, that's
where I left it.
That's rough. Yeah, like the thing is like I'm gonna be honest, like with just the way things have been going for that that company or that developer, it's just really, really hard for me to get excited for anything that they're announcing. And I'm to the point of where I just gotta see it. I gotta see it. I gotta see the full finished product, and if people are saying it's good, well then I'll be excited and possibly give it a shot. But until then, I'm burnt out with them right now.
My honest reaction to seeing the Mass Effect trailer would be like, if I was being dramatic, would be like, how dare you? How dare you not show me gameplay? You have not earned the right to show me a cinematic trailer for anything anymore. Put your money where your mouth is. Talk to me when you have gameplay footage.
Not only that, let's not lose sight of the fact that they also showed the trailer for Dragon Age at this. And this is like the third event that we've seen something that is not actual gameplay for Dragon Age, which is coming out before Mass Effect. So Mass Effect is probably at best 4 years off. At best.
Neither of these games even have a title either. Like, it just said Mass Effect will continue. Well, no shit. It's your biggest franchise. Why would it not? You know,
like Laurent says, the BioWare's been doing this for 5 years. I definitely don't disagree. Like, they've done this for a long time. But a lot of AAA devs do this, and I really think the situation around, not to turn it to Cyberpunk, but I think the situation around Cyberpunk and how it handled its marketing and its reveals is going to affect how we see AAA games announced going forward. It's not enough to drop a cinematic trailer and just drop those for years, and then, we're finally going to show you gameplay like 6 months before release, and it's nothing like what you built up in your mind. That's not going to work anymore. That's not going to fly. Microsoft in particular has a horrible habit of doing this. I mean, look back to the July event. Almost everything we got from their first-party studios were all CG trailers, all just proof of concept, which is fine, but to an extent, it's fine to an extent, I guess I should say. Like, for your first reveal, you better have gameplay.
Yeah, first reveal.
When we're on the third or fourth one for Dragon Age, though, I start going, okay, this is a studio that their last 2 releases have been real bad in the public eye. You might want to get this nailed down before you start doing all these CG and dev diaries and stuff.
Yeah. Or I would have accepted more so than a cinematic trailer them explaining what the fuck they're thinking.
Yeah.
Like show a board meeting and being like, here's concept art. This is what we're doing. We really wanted to do this. We realized that this happened then, and this is what we're going with this. And I would rather you give me a sketch than you show me like a fully rendered
synopsis
cinematic thing. It's like, who the fuck did that? Why is it? Sorry, I'm cursing a lot today. Who like, you spent time and money on this cinematic trailer to show me probably 3 or 4 years before the game actually comes out, instead of just working on the GD game. Just work on the game. work on the game. That will make me happy.
Well, that trailer was
With
probably
this announcement,
outsourced,
they
I'm
now
sure.
have 4 projects in development at BioWare.
Well, I'm sure there's
4.
only like one and a half at a time.
Let's see what they have.
They have Old Republic, which is still ongoing, and Anthem Next, both of which are taking up all the resources of the Austin office as of right now.
God.
And then you have Dragon Age and Mass Effect supposedly both in development.
Dude, when the Old Republic came out, if you would have told somebody that was like their best, the BioWare's best product right now, you would have laughed in their face.
I also can't believe that's the one thing that survived the Disney EU video game purge was the fucking Old Republic.
Cash cow.
Of all things, that's what survived the purge.
Why on earth would you keep who is waiting for the next Anthem at this point?
Nobody. Not a single soul.
Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why you're oh, we're gonna fix it all in the next one, guys. We promise. Being yeah, but you've said that for every game.
We got the announcement right around the time of the Game Awards when Casey Hudson left that the director of the Anthem do-over, I guess you could, I'm not even gonna call Anthem Next like they call it. It's a do-over, is gonna be the head of BioWare in general. What has he done to, I'm sorry, what has this person done to earn this? What on earth has this guy done to earn that job? Because by all accounts, Anthem is a steaming pile of shit. So why would you promote one of the people in charge of the debacle to oversee the whole studio after you just showed 2 others the door?
How many people are Parks and Recreation fans here? So 2 solid. Jesse, you won't get this. BioWare at this point is like the Andy Dwyer early on in the season. It's kind of just freeloading, kind of abusing their girlfriend. They know we're in a relationship and that we love them, so we're going to forgive them on everything. But then they just do stuff that's just unexcusable. It's just you don't have a job. You're just sitting on the couch. You keep telling me you're going to do something, and when I come home, you've done nothing. BioWare, I do love you, and I want you to do well, and you've done so many cool things in the past. However, all the people that did those cool things in the past aren't there anymore.
So what you're telling me is
still using the same shit.
We're gonna find the Edmonton office in a pit in a tent someday, just hanging out.
They're gonna be Anthem Next, guys. We're working on it, and it's a guy in a tent sketching suits of armor with a crayon and a piece of charcoal that he built out of a fire. It's not going well, guys. Don't show me a cinematic trailer. I'm not dumb.
Oh man. To be fair, if Mass Effect, the next Mass Effect, on a personal level, I'm excited for more Mass Effect, but I also am worried because of what's happened with BioWare. That's
you should be.
So,
and that's exactly where I'm sitting. It's just, I don't care, man. Just show me the game.
So the second to last game we're going to talk about is I don't know how much we're going to talk about it, but Arc 2 is coming. It's an Xbox console exclusive, starring Vin Diesel. What were they calling it?
World premiere.
What were they? Some people were calling it the Fast and the Prehistoric or something.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Too Fast, Too Dino.
Yeah. That's even better. Josh coined that. Name of the episode: Too Fast, Too Dino.
He should have been. I would have accepted him being in a new Turok game. That makes.
That's what I thought it was at first.
The Fast and the Prehistoric.
I really thought it was a new Turok at first. Speaking of a franchise that's bursting at the seams for something cool, Turok. I liked the one that the reboot on 360. Now, granted, I haven't played it in I don't know what year is it, 2020, 13 years, but it was a cool idea.
I don't hate myself enough to play this game.
If you play the original Turok, they remastered it for the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's real fast.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Turok. I'll play Turok. I don't hate myself enough to play Ark.
Yeah,
I've played some things that have been torturous in my life. I played Cyberpunk pre-patch. I played Oblivion where my save got corrupted on the 360 before they changed it from T to M.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone through some shit. I played Bethesda games day one. I'm absolutely not playing this steaming pile of garbage. Why the fuck was this a game that we paid exclusivity for? I just Phil,
because
I wanna
Ark
talk.
is one
Ark
of
is massive.
yeah, Ark
Phil,
is like
I
one of
just
the.
want to talk. I just want to talk.
So
it's-
Ark is.
I get that
Ark-
Ark is popular. I don't
Ark
know
makes
why, but
I feel like Ark is
Well,
too
why is
big.
anything-
Like Ark is big enough to where you don't need to pay for exclusivity. I feel like.
I would also argue that you can create all new content for Ark and you don't need to make it Ark 2. Like
Yeah.
that is like the Destiny 2 thing
Mhm.
to me waiting to happen. Like
hmm
it come out fine, new content, new whatever, you have another like just don't call it
Don't they
Ark
already
2.
have another exclusive dinosaur shooting game?
There's a
Second Extinction is coming, and I'm so excited
Yeah.
for that.
So why?
That
why
game is stupid fun.
Man, there's gonna be a giant E tag on this episode. But why the fuck do we need another dinosaur shooting game?
Vin Diesel looks really out of place in this too.
Yeah, because he's
Unless-
Vin Diesel.
Well, I was gonna
Looks
say, of all
extremely out of
people, why
place
would you pick
this
Vin
game.
Diesel to be the?
Vin Diesel has over 1,000 hours in this game, apparently.
Did you know he
yeah,
also?
they're probably gonna like Apple. They're gonna.
They
force
hired
his
him and
music
he's-
on us.
They hired him, and he's also now like co-producer and co-director on this game now. And he actually like works for the studios and folded his game studio into it, which was already only like 3 people.
I will say that Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay like is a fucking great
That's
game.
what I was going to get to. If we're going to put Vin Diesel in anything, can I just get a sequel to Butcher Bay and we'll call
We
it
did
a day?
Assault on Dark Athena for 360. You got it. Did you play it?
Nope.
Can I get a modern one? Yeah. Why does he look like he's back in like 1999 from the first Fast and the Furious? Laurent has a point here.
Because that's when he was cool.
When
Are
it
we
was
going to
good.
get Tyrese and Ludacris as downloadable content?
Let me just say that if I'm ever in a video game, you better get the best looking version of me, which is probably from about 10 years ago at this point.
So they needed to go back to Fast 5 for him then. Because that's like,
Yeah.
he was fucking massive in Fast 5.
Mm.
I'm going to need to see him throwing down with a dinosaur, and I need him to have some ridiculous contract in this game like he does with the Fast and the Furious, where nobody can ever win in a fight over him. It has to end in a draw. Because that's what him, The Rock, and Jason Statham all demanded in their contracts.
if we get another dinosaur shooting game, I want it to be a Dinosaurs for Hire video game. You guys ever played Dinosaurs for Hire?
No.
I have
No.
not. No.
It's like, so it was a Sega Genesis game. It's also a comic book, but basically, like you have like 3 dinosaur bounty hunters, basically, but the dinosaurs do the shooting, and it's fucking
Was this?
great.
Oh, was this like a side-scrolling game?
It was.
Can I
yeah.
get Jeff
Like Contra.
Goldblum in a dinosaur game, though?
I remember that
he,
game.
one.
he is.
Yeah.
He's in the Jurassic Park game.
Yeah, he's in the
I
Jurassic
said a
Park.
good one.
Jurassic Park Evolution's actually pretty
I said
good.
I said a good dinosaur game.
It's okay. If you like the theme park simulators, you'd like
Yeah,
it.
if you like
I
Roller
need,
Coaster
I
Tycoon.
need Jeff Goldblum to be my AI companion. We don't need Nolan North. I need Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, that's that Jurassic Park game. He's like your narrator.
Oh, I need him as my
I like how we
vegetable
just called
to
Josh
provide
out
for
on
a
2
TV
separate
show.
things that he wants, and they both exist, and then he refuses to play them.
I'll play them when they come to Game Pass.
No, I won't.
Well, the Jurassic Park game was on Game Pass, wasn't it, or no?
It was a game with
Or no,
gold.
it's free. It's free.
Yeah, it's a game with
it
gold.
was-
Oh yeah, I saw
I
that.
think
And I
it's-
ignored it.
I think it's free, but yeah, you have to pay for the upgrade.
Oh man! All right, so where did my
What's
list
our
of-
last one, Corey?
Yeah, I'm getting there. Open Roads, the new project by the team that did Gone Home and Tacoma. So I don't really know anything else about this game. I feel like Josh, you're excited. I feel like this is a Josh game.
All I know is that 2 of my favorite ladies, Carrie Russell and Caitlin Deaver, are in this game, and I'm so excited.
Carrie Russell,
I'm
guys.
so excited for this.
Look, 12, 13-year-old me would have been very excited. Carrie Russell, Felicity. The only reason why I watched Felicity.
28-year-old Josh, who has watched all of the Americans, is very excited.
Yeah, that too. That too.
So, in all seriousness though, I really like the games this studio puts out, and this is a Josh game. This is something I'm absolutely going to play a lot of.
Yeah. So
That's all I got to say. I want that, and I want Evil Dead real bad.
Evil Dead. I am excited for. If it, through the glimpses of gameplay, it kind of looks like Resident Evil 4 to me. And if it's anything like, I don't give a shit if they just reskinned Resident Evil 4 with Ash and Bruce Campbell's voice and they just kind of like reskinned it, like that'd be fine with me.
And go for the humor, like kind of the more humorous
I
stuff.
don't even need the humor. Yeah, I just need one-liners that don't even need to fit the situation that Bruce Campbell can just say. They can just get a day's worth of recording. Just have him be like, just say whatever you want.
So Resident Evil mixed with Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So to wrap up part one of this massive episode.
Corey, I have one more thing
Oh
on the Game
no!
Awards.
What do you want?
Yeah, Back
for Blood, baby! Back
Come
for
on
Blood!
now. That was like the second.
Who
biggest
else
thing
is
announced.
excited for this? Who else likes Left 4 Dead?
I've never
I'm
played
really
Left 4 Dead.
excited now that I have friends that play online.
I'm very excited. Our friend Ray Apollo was playing the alpha this weekend, and I was not sold on this game until I saw the actual gameplay. And now it's like, just put it in me now. I need this.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I need this now. This is my summer game of next year already.
Mm-hmm.
And the second
my,
that there's a console beta, you'll never see, you won't hear from me for like a week.
my friends, my best friends are already. They message me on Facebook. They're like, "Oh, we got to play this when this comes out." So I know I've got a couple of people that I'm going to be playing it with already. So
I've never played Left 4 Dead, so
they're so
Corey.
good.
what? I don't have any friends.
I didn't.
Corey
either, but
hasn't.
it's
So
good,
Corey
though.
hasn't played
I like
Left
him,
4
man.
Dead. He hasn't seen Back to the Future. He's only seen the first Lord of the
Whoa,
Rings.
whoa! Let's not.
Whoa, that's not even the worst
We can
offense.
do this in private. Let's not do this publicly.
No,
all right,
everybody
no,
needs
Josh.
to know.
Josh, I need you to rapid fire 5 movies, and I want to tell you if I've seen them or not.
Oh God.
Rapid fire now. Go.
No, because we've already gone through some of the ones I would have said.
Oh, you lost.
I did. Okay.
I'm still waiting.
That's how important those games.
I
are
have to.
them.
Well, I have to think of movies that are non-Disney properties.
Godfather.
Nope.
Scarface.
Jaws.
No to both of those.
You didn't see Jaws?
No.
Oh.
Saving Private Ryan.
Nope.
We can't just go see Spielberg. Ease off. Pump the brakes.
That was 4.
Saving
I
Private
need
Ryan.
one more. Nope. Okay.
Platoon.
What? No. It's a Nintendo game.
No,
Squid Kids.
based off of-
that's a Nintendo game.
All right, so the last segment of this first half.
Singing in the Rain.
Nope.
Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
I have seen Bed Knobs and
That's a
Broomsticks.
great
I
God
know,
damn
that's
it,
right.
It's a
Corey.
Disney movie, though.
It is a Disney movie.
God
though.
damn it.
That's a great movie. I used to be obsessed with that movie.
Me too.
I
Me
like
too.
that.
Dude, they
Oh, I
fly
had it-
around.
I had it on beta.
They fly around in cartoon lands on a bed. That sounds amazing. All right, so I've written down all of the announced Xbox published games and what their studios are working on that have been announced, and I have a section that says rumored and unannounced games, which we can go through too. But I'm just going to run down the list, and we can kind of talk about what we're excited for. So 343 obviously working on Halo Infinite. Ninja Theory's working on Project Mara and Senua's Sacrifice. Flight Simulator's coming to Series X and S next summer. The next Forza is coming. Fable from Playground. State of Decay 3 from Undead Labs. Avowed from Obsidian. Grounded from Obsidian. Perfect Dark from The Initiative. Everwild from Rare. Starfield from Bethesda Game Studios. Elder Scrolls 6. Deathloop. Ghostwire Tokyo. Of course, they're PlayStation timed exclusives, but they're going to come to Xbox eventually. Psychonauts 2 from Double Fine. Minecraft Dungeons DLC from Mojang. Minecraft Worlds from Mojang, which is the mobile game. More Minecraft, I'm assuming, from Mojang. As Dusk Falls from Interior Night, which is a break-off studio from Quantic Dream, which did Detroit Become Humans, their most recent game. Sea of Thieves seasonal content from Rare. Age of Empires 4 from World's Edge, assuming that might come to Xbox at some point. Elder Scrolls Online expansion from ZeniMax Online, and Fallout 76 expansions from Bethesda Game Studios. The rumored and unannounced games, assuming the Coalition is working on a sequel to Gears 5. Compulsion Games' next game, which is rumored to be a Bioshock-esque story-driven game. A big rumor that was floating around a couple weeks ago was Forza Horizon 5 from Playground. Might come before Forza Motorsport. Machine Games probably working on Wolfenstein 3. id Software is probably working on DLC for Doom or a Doom sequel. In Exile's new Unreal Engine 5 RPG. Roundhouse Studios is a support studio for most of their games, and then Alpha Dog is one that they acquired from Bethesda, and they specialize in mobile games. So Xbox has a ton of games coming, and that's not including Obsidian's third project, which we don't know much about either.
So I had a really like quick thought about the Forza Motorsports, the new one that they're coming up with. Like, I almost wonder if they're gonna use the same technology that they use for Flight Simulator for this, like where you could like literally drive like on like realistic like road, like literally using the satellite data to map roads and all that stuff, and literally be able to drive in their version of like basically real world, like
I could see that, but also I think like flying, like getting that data and making it look realistic from really high up in the air is more ideal than like, actually featuring a real world type of ground based game,
Well, I think they could still do it the same way, where like most of it is just like they obviously from the satellite data they can see roads. They don't have to really technically make every house look like it really does, or have things like that be realistic. Like just having the actual road maps and then like doing like they did in Flight Simulator, where you have the specific places where you do races and things like that be very authentic and look exactly like it actually does, but everything else just kind of be just going off the basic road maps that you see from the satellite info. Like I was just thinking, like, I wonder if, because like that tech has done so much for Flight Simulator, and like it's just kind of like crazy to think that they wouldn't maybe try to use that tech that they've made and that stuff for something else. Like I said, I don't think it's gonna be like shot for shot by any means of like real world, but they could still have the basic map layout of road and stuff like that. But
yeah,
they can do that now though without using the satellite data, though. You know what I mean? Because like it's not like you're gonna go through the forest or anything like that. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I like the idea of the tech that when you go off the predefined path, they have an algorithm in place. It's like, okay, this area is roughly this, and we'll just sprinkle in some stuff so it looks passable. But then they would have to make like an open world Forza game in order for that to happen.
And we kind of already have that with Horizon.
I think games like this, these IPs, these big franchises, these tent poles, need to start doing hubs. I want to download a Forza hub like I can. Master Chief is a good precursor to, I think, what comes next with Halo for like this game. But like, give me a hub, give me Forza hub, and then let me add the content that I want to play, and you can just keep releasing content within that same thing. And I think it would be good. I
think that's what Forza is going to turn into, though, because there's no number attached to it. I feel like they're going to go like a seasonal route, a season pass route, a battle pass route, I guess you would call it. And I think that's what you're going to get.
That's
what I think is this is an in between the two Forzas. Like it's like they've already said it's going to be open world. Like they have people who've worked on like Grand Theft Auto and all these big open world games working with them on it right now. So like that's kind of why I thought about the whole like that, but in Flight Simulator kind of style.
So I think one of the biggest games that I think Hellblade 2 is really exciting for me, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
I want it to be bigger than the first game, especially because they have a Microsoft budget behind them now instead of just their own independent 20-person team working on it, right? Like I want this to be their answer to Horizon Zero Dawn, honestly. Like I want them to explore. I want a big open world to explore, and like the way that, the first game kind of dealt with psychosis and the voices kind of tricking you in terms of like, oh, there's an enemy behind you, dodge, and there really wasn't, or something like that, or the way that Gears 5 handled like Kate's hallucinations and stuff. Like I want that stuff to affect the open world the way that Senua sees the open world, but I want it to be this big open world, right? Like I want to go explore this new area. I don't think it's going to be that, but I want, that's what I would love it to be, because that trailer was like, just seeing the trailer and it just got me really excited it made me go back in 100% Senua's Sacrifice. Like that trailer made me go back and 100% that game.
Well, this is my thought. Like, we've got that game Medium coming out where where you're existing in two different worlds at the same time. But what if they do the whole like where she starts having hallucinations and the entire world just like that with these new hard drives? Like just like you get to all of a sudden just see like that falter of reality. Yeah. And all of a sudden you're in a different...
Yeah, like when you would walk through...
It just looks completely different.
Like when you would walk through those doors in the first game and like it would change some of the elements in that area. Like what if you like went through one of those doors and it changed the entire landscape of the world, or it changed like, okay, well this is like clearly the normal world, but here's you're now in like hell's version of the world or whatever, and you have to fight your way out or something.
Yeah, or I'm saying, like, what if it even while you're in the middle of something, she's having an episode, and all of a sudden it just changes on you, like while you're doing stuff, like like it just like because like mental illness doesn't wait for anyone. It's gonna happen when it wants to, and if it's not under control, and so like I could see them like straight up just having like. Without the warp tunnels, like like what Ratchet and Clank's doing, where things just will all of a sudden just look completely different.
Yeah,
like they could definitely have fun with that, and just the new tech and just things being able to change a lot easier and things like that. So
yeah. Also, like a Gear sequel always excites me. So. Josh, what excites you on this list? What's tickling your fancy?
I mean, so my first takeaway from this list is, like, y'all know that I love Xbox. I'm an ardent defender of even their more mediocre games. Mediocre in the eyes of the public. But the first thing that I noticed about this list, and that honestly concerns me, is that almost all of these are sequels. Or they're revitalizations of previous properties, such as in the case of Perfect Dark and Fable. And I know I just said how excited I was for Perfect Dark. I'm really excited for Fable. I like the fact that all these awesome games are getting sequels, but I'm also starting to feel the over-reliance on the Halo, Forza, and Gears brands overall, even though they're doing new games in these types of series. We have the Horizon series, which I would argue has probably surpassed base Forza Motorsport as the most popular type of racing game on Xbox. It definitely appeals to more people. Halo has been in kind of a weird state ever since Bungie handed off the franchise to 343. Not that I think it's necessarily been bad, but it's been in a very weird place with two base games, two mobile games, an arcade cabinet, and Master Chief Collection, which finally works. And I want more original ideas. So when I hear the rumors about Compulsion working on BioWare or a BioWare-esque project, I get really excited about that. I get excited knowing that Starfield is on the way. I get excited knowing that ZeniMax Online is working on a yet untitled game with a brand new branch of their studio in San Diego, which we won't see for 3-4 years probably. I think about those, and that's what excites me more. I'm not jazzed for another Wolfenstein. I've played 3 of them this generation, 3 or 4 of them this generation. Last gen. I'm good. I'm good on those for a while. I'm good on Doom for a little while. Yeah. I'm fine on Gears and on. I mean, I want to see how Gears' story ends, but I mean, after we just got Hivebusters, I'm really hoping that whatever 6 is kind of retires the franchise for 5-10 years. You know, let it come back and have that God of War 2018 moment. That's what I want to see. Like, let it have a Ratchet and Clank style resurgence, like it did with the reboot, and then now with the one that's about to come out. I guess Compulsion's game excites me probably the most out of any of those, because it is one of those, like, we don't know anything about it. Avowed obviously does, which, I mean, Avowed, the world in Avowed is only going to be familiar to you if you've played Pillars of Eternity. Which a lot of console players have not played. I myself have not played it. All I know about Pillars of Eternity is simply from what friends of mine who have played them on PC or like the console ports have been like, oh my god, you need to play this. It's such a rich, deep world. And Avowed is set in that world. And that's a very Skyrim-ass game from what we've seen of the brief teaser we were shown. That's something that'll tickle my fancy. I'll absolutely dump 150 hours into that, without a doubt. Same with Bethesda Game Studios titles. But if you're going like just based off what they technically had the rights to at this exact moment, there's not a ton. Really, it's anything coming from Obsidian and In Exile. Like, Microsoft is leaning real hard into we want to be the place for role-playing players to come. We want to be the platform. Whether you play it here, you play it on Windows, you play it on mobile, we want to be the people you think of when you think quality RPGs. And with how bad CD Projekt Red just fumbled the ball at the goal line, essentially, with Cyberpunk, what competition really is there left for major Western RPGs? There's not. Like, most of them are consolidated now once the Bethesda sale goes through in 2021 to Xbox, to Microsoft. So you kind of have to buy that. You kind of have to buy an Xbox, or you have to have a capable PC to play these games. Microsoft has all these games announced, and I have no doubt that I can get excited about almost any project they announce. What matters for me now is the execution. I'm tired of getting excited and something being really lackluster, or something not being finished when it comes out, or it's cool but nobody knows about it because there was no marketing. All the marketing was spent on so ridiculous ad campaigns that have nothing to do with a specific game. Like, it's not like a Sony title where I'm bombarded with coverage and with first looks on all these online magazines, through digital outlets, through podcasts, through everything else. We don't get that with Microsoft games. Microsoft's had some great ad campaigns, but when it comes to individual games, they're terrible. You can have a great game. Ori and the Will of Wisps is a great example. You have shit-ass marketing, though. And, for example, I love the first Ori. I didn't even know Will of Wisps came out until about 3 days after. And that was because one friend of mine was like, oh, hey, this is on Game Pass. Have you checked this out? Like, no, because I didn't know it came out yet. I thought it was still 2 months away. Like, that's... So I guess getting back to games, like, I really want to see what they do with these RPG studios. I want to see if they can deliver on the promises that they're making. Because it's all marketing speak, but... at a certain point, the excuses do run out. And with Microsoft, as much as I love them, I think they bought themselves a little bit of time unknowingly with COVID. But this launch was a disaster for them on the first party front. The first half of 2021 is looking to be a disaster as well. Once you hit June of next year, you better have all this shit coming out. Your COVID excuses are going to be up by next summer. They just are, because either you've gotten into a rhythm working from home or you're back in the studio. There will be no more excuses at that point. So give it to me. If you got to punt something, cool, but you better have something smaller scale in the meantime for me to digest. This year was awesome with some of the smaller games. They worked with outside studios. Tell Me Why is one of my favorites of the year. I actually kind of enjoy Battletoads. I'm not going to say it's amazing, but it was a really fun couch co-op game. But what else was there? I mean, Gears Tactics was their big game of the year, really. Gears Tactics.
Yeah,
and great game.
Yeah, because we
were
getting
carry you.
No, it's like
Flight Simulator this year. It would have been better. Yeah.
I mean, Joe and I have talked about this. Like, we're really glad that Halo got delayed,
Right.
But Gears Tactics was supposed to be the supplemental game to Halo this fall, like in terms of first party. Let's be honest.
And don't get me wrong, Gears Tactics is fine as like your second or third tier launch game.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're launching something you tout as the most powerful box ever made, you have to have an exclusive that shows that off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on Microsoft for putting all their chips into one game. And I don't blame. If I was Microsoft, I'd put all my chips into the Halo basket too. But something clearly has gone wrong at 343. We've seen this time and time again with studios. Like, I don't know what needs to change, but something does on a studio management level, lest you end up with a CD Projekt Red style disaster.
Yeah.
So that's it. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I'm still really excited. Give me all the Western RPGs. I'll play them all. I'll spend like 100 hours in all of these games. I love them. I'd rather have those than shooters at this point in my life.
Yeah.
But holy God.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of shooters, Joe, are you excited for Halo still?
I am. I mean, like, when it comes down to it, I'm someone that plays like the same 5 games. I always kind of like gravitate back. I will get enticed by a game. I do have like a love for RPGs, but it's got to nail a few different elements properly for me to really sink its teeth into me and keep me there. Otherwise, I'm always kind of go back. I like the loop of playing like a multiplayer match in Halo or Call of Duty or any of those games. Like, it's like, oh, you demand maybe anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes of my attention, and I get a little minute and a half respite, and then I get to go back in and I get to do that loop. I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, I like Halo. I'm still excited for Halo. I hope they don't mess it up. My concern is that like it has the same launch problems like that most other games have, and then it's difficult for it to recover because so much is relying on its first impression.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
especially Halo,
they can't chance that. They can't, Josh, to kind of go to what you were saying, they can't do what a CD Projekt Red has done. They have exhausted that goodwill bank account, and they need it to be good at launch. Whether that's releasing only multiplayer at launch or only the campaign at launch and then the other one coming shortly thereafter, like whatever.
Which we know they floated this year.
Whatever they come out
Not to
with.
cut you off.
No, it's fine. That needs to be good. Whatever is released. Outside of that, like, I'm really excited for Starfield. I liked Skyrim, and I'm not super into the medieval fantasy genre.
Mm-hmm.
I like the space stuff, so if you were to be like, hey, here's Skyrim in space with space stuff, I'm like, this is fine. I'm all for this.
Yeah.
I agree. As much as I would love to say that I want more original IPs, because I do, but I need them to take place of Halo or take place of Call of Duty. It needs to replace that for me. That itch, that constant, like, oh, I can invest 1,000 hours into this game and not really feel like I've, exhausted my replayability there.
Right.
So yeah, I'm still excited for Halo. They need to nail it. I also really want to play Deathloop. I like the Tarantino style.
Yeah.
So I'm really
there's
excited
two
about
things
that.
I want to piggyback off Joe real fast. I know we're going a bit long here, but there's two things I think Microsoft does extremely well, and that is, like we said, going back to their RPG roots is a great idea here. Mm-hmm. They also have always done multiplayer really, really well, and I really like that about them. I want them to find a healthy mix, though, of give me some multiplayer that isn't just Halo, Gears, and Forza. Likewise, give me some RPGs that aren't just Elder Scrolls and Fable. Like, I am excited that Starfield is coming. That's a brand new thing. Wasteland is a completely different kind of RPG than I would normally play, but is arguably my game of the year right now. That is absolutely my biggest surprise of the year, is how much I fell in love with Wasteland, which is kind of the precursor to what Fallout became eventually under Bethesda. The original creators of Fallout was Interplay, which became InXile. I love those types of games, and I think you have an opportunity. Like, they've shown that you can tell a good story in a shooter. You can tell a good story in an action-adventure game, in a third-person shooter. Everybody's looking for that one game that is going to rival Naughty Dog or rival Sony Santa Monica. And I think that's the absolute wrong kind of mindset to have. Sure, it would help you to have a killer app like that. What a lot of people don't understand is how much of an anomaly the generation we just went through was for a first party studio. Sony absolutely knocked it out of the park. We have arguably not seen a console manufacturer do that, maybe since the PS2, maybe before, where you have that many hit after hit after hit after hit that came from Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo. And everybody keeps saying like, oh, we need the next Horizon, we need the next God of War. How about we focus on like the first, just hypothetically, the first Starfield, the first insert name here for the next title from In Exile. Like, we could try and emulate all day long, but ultimately you're doing that 4 or 5 years at best after a title already came out. We've moved on to new things at that
Correct.
point.
Correct.
Yeah.
Be
Well,
the
and I
innovator,
just
try new things. Like I loved how unique Quantum Break and Sunset Overdrive were. Like I beat this horn so many times on this show. I love that Quantum Break essentially was the predecessor to Control. I love that Sunset Overdrive's movement was very much the basis for what we got in Spider-Man. That's really cool. Like, you're taking risks and doing those, but you also got to make sure people know that they exist. Maybe don't give me a mandatory download where I got to download 70 gigs of HD video with it too. Like, there's mitigating factors. Like, you have these awesome ideas and then you get like intercepted or you throw an incomplete pass at the 15-yard line and you commit a self-penalty. I don't know what you want to call it. I'm not good at sports analogies. But you keep doing this harm to yourself, and good ideas only get you so far. It's gameplay and it's the word of mouth that carry you.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if Microsoft can actually do it.
Well, and I think the thing is too, though, is like, yeah, like doing a new IP can be difficult, but at the same time, there's also a whole stigma or a whole, expectation that comes from doing something, a sequel or whatever to something that doesn't exist. That, like people can be excited and intrigued by a game, and there's none of that expectation, like as far as it needing to continue something, or and like as far as the whole like trying to compete with the Sony games that we've got, you also don't want a company to just completely do something that isn't their strong suit, just to try to go up against something else. So I want these devs to do a better version of things that they know how to do already, but but give us something new.
I think the best example right now though of that, where like a company's sticking to what they know, but they have a small team working on something that's totally out of their wheelhouse, is Obsidian, right? Like they're making Avowed, they did Outer Worlds, but they also have a small team working on Grounded, which is like, oh, that's cool. That's a cool experiment. But like you said, Jesse, like I don't think Microsoft studios are in a position to try something new, quote unquote, because they haven't, and to Josh's point, they haven't nailed what they're supposedly good at in a long time. And the only games that we got that were great this generation were from second party deals like Quantum Break and Sunset Overdrive, and some of these other ones like Tell Me Why and whatever. Like I don't know. I think there's a lot here to be excited for, but there's also a lot of caution that comes with that excitement. So
yeah, and I think that's again like that's the problem with not doing a new IP versus continuing something you're already doing.
Yeah.
I do think that comes along with that, though.
Yeah. Sure. I want to thank everybody so much for watching. Josh, where can we find you?
As always, you can find me on Tower Casuals on Thursday nights. And then you can find me on Twitter and on Twitch at @Josh_Finn with 2 N's. And this week we're finishing up Cyberpunk, and we're going straight into Assassin's Creed Valhalla once Christmas hits.
Great game.
Nice.
I started playing that again this week. It's very good. Jesse, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me almost everywhere as Phantom NXS. And Josh, I did get a chance to. I think I mentioned it. I watched you could do the raid and stuff like that. And, that was pretty. That was pretty interesting. So yeah,
we've been streaming on Reset Tuesdays.
Yeah. So,
Joe, where can we find you?
Best place is going to be those show notes because it's K3RNL_panic on Twitter. That's my hub.
It's a great name, by the way.
yeah.
Go keep at it. Keep at that name. Keep clinging to it.
Yep. You can find me at I am Corey HC on Twitter and Instagram. I want to thank everybody so much for watching. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.